You are listening to the Moon Room. The moon is awake, and Adler Bear is getting ready for bed. Come curl up with us. It's time for another story from the Moon Room. Little Bear in the Oak Tree. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Little Bear. When Little Bear was a baby, his grandfather would read him stories about the trees. He'd tell Little Bear that every tree had a voice, and that they spoke their own language. Little Bear was confused because trees did not have voices, not that he could hear. His grandfather laughed and assured him trees do have voices. They just weren't the same as ours. Grandfather told Little Bear that trees would discuss the weather, any new branches, or nesting animals. They could also tell if something was wrong in the forest. Little Bear was amazed and wanted to talk to a tree right away. So the next day he went out to the forest to find a tree to talk to. The trickiest part wasn't finding a tree. That part was easy. It was finding a tree that he could understand. He whispered into the strong trunks of many trees before cupping his ears and pressing the sides of his hands to the bark. He did this over and over again, making sure not to press too hard into the bark of young trees. But when that didn't work, he stood very tall and very still and closed his eyes, thinking that one of the trees would think he was a tree and strike up a conversation with him about the weather or nesting chipmunks and singing birds. But nothing happened. He eventually grew so tired of standing and whispering and cupping his ears to tree bark that he made a little bed for himself beneath an oak tree with roots that were as winding as a river and as thick as the arms on his father's favorite chair. He fell asleep for hours, and when he woke up, the sun had turned into a big, bright moon, and the blue sky was as black as his mother's hair. Little Bear had slept for so long, he couldn't remember where he was or how he got there. Little Bear felt small and curled up under the oak tree. The roots of the tree swaddled him tight, making him forget all about anything that could or would hurt him. The roots held him so tight that he started to cry. He missed his mother, father, and grandfather. He did not know how to get home or if he ever would again. But the oak tree was strong and stood tall over him as he cried and cried, until his cries turned to whimpers, and his whimpers into shallow breaths, and he was asleep. That night, Little Bear dreamt of the warm fireplace and of his father's flannel shirt. He dreamt of his mother's skirts billowing on the clothesline and her warm apple pancakes. He dreamt of his grandfather and all the trees he met that day. One by one, each of the trees began to light up. The light stretched across the earth and up the roots of the oak tree where Little Bear slept. The roots glowed and flickered more intensely as the light moved up the tree. Soon the mighty oak was a beam of pulsating light that beat to the heart of the forest. That morning, Little Bear woke up knowing exactly where he was and how to get home. He thanked the oak tree for watching over him and for letting him sleep in their roots. He raced to his house where he found his family waiting for him. His mother, who was watching from the window, cried out, and they all ran to hug Little Bear. That night, before he fell asleep, he told his grandfather about all the things he learned from talking to the trees.